Okay, folks, one more stab at another video today and a project to do. You know, I just finished gluing the top to this lid, and that worked out just wonderfully. And I've been thinking about the next step being to apply finish. And all of a sudden it occurred to me, if I try to apply finish to the inside of this box, it's going to spill onto that velour. Not spill, but get onto it. And it won't look good. And then all of a sudden it occurred to me that I had another project that I was going to do that I forgot completely about. And that was to put a liner, an oak liner, in each side of this with mitered edges here, like this. And so it would form a lip like that, that would be, that would allow it to fit inside that box tightly and also not rack or anything else. And it would be kind of like a piston fit as it goes down and keep dust out of there. I mean, I don't know why we put those things in there, but it makes it, you could actually not use hinges and just use that to slip the top onto the box, and the top would stay there. It'd almost be able to pick it up with the top, probably not, but certainly it would stay on there without too much problems. You'd have to hold this down and kind of pick it up to get the top off. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stain this. I'm going to cut all the pieces, and then I'm going to stain each one of these with I'm going to finish the inside edge, and later I'll finish the top and outside edges, but I'm going to leave this raw so I can glue it against this. Now I've already cut the first one. I was just experimenting to see whether I wanted to use the shooting board plane, and I do. I'll fit each one of these things into here with an interference type fit, and so I've got another. This should do for that. This will get me, this part of this board will get me one of the ends, and over here I should have one left. Yeah, I've got one left over here to do the other end. So this much wood ought to give me enough to cut these things and do it right. So anyway, let's get started with this. Now the way I fit this in here is I use this to measure, but what I want to do first is to put the chamfer on one end so I can hold that chamfer up against here and then put a knife edge mark where it ends up over here, and it'll be a little bit long when I put that mark on there, or I'm intending for it to be a little bit long so I can chamfer or cut that mitered edge down to the right length exactly. And the reason why the shooting board plane is so good at doing that is because each slice is only taken off maybe 1/1000th of an inch. And so, I mean, you get so close and you just one swipe and it fits perfect. You're close on that. So let's do that. So I've got, this board has not been used yet. It's going to go on the other side of this one. And so I'm going to cut the, let me see if this is, that's not the end I want. I want this end. No, they both have snipe on both ends because I had to reduce the length of this thing. Let me cut off a piece. I'll tell you what snipe is when I get back. So snipe, I don't know whether you can see this in the light or not, with the right there, looking down from that camera, you can see a little bit of shininess right across there, and that means that this is less thick than that, and it's where the planer, when you came to the end of the planer, the last piece just kind of dipped down as you're holding it down, and that's called snipe. It's a very common thing with planers and joiners and things like that, and you just have to watch out for it. and not use it. But I've cut it off on this end, so I'll do my first plain board on this end. And again, every time I cut, this thing slides down just a little bit because of the gravity doing that. And I'm holding against the fence and pushing down with my fingers. We're almost there. This is only 1/8 of an inch thick material, and this was about 3/16 of an inch thick. So we're getting closer faster. And now what I'm going to do is cut one slow cut to get that just perfect right there. And then what I'll do is I'll put this end in the corner, and I'll get it up high in the corner, and I'm going to use my knife to put a slight little mark on there. I can see it, but you probably can't. This is a little bit long, but now I'll be able to cut that with the other saw over here. And I wonder if I should try to do this here. Okay, yep. There it is. That's so camera number 1 is pointing over here, and I'm using a little light here. Oh, here it is. Head on the other side of the board. So I was looking for the length, and I'm gonna have to guess at this. Let me go a little bit long because I put my mark on the wrong end. I should have put it on this end. Matter of fact, let me show you a trick. It's not a trick. It's just a tool that I have. That allows me to transfer that mark to the other side. That's called a straddle square, and that wasn't really the perfect use for it, but it helped me a little bit of getting that mark on there. Now I know where to go. And it's probably a 32nd of an inch too long, which is exactly what I want. To be able to sneak up on the on that shot, or on that miter right there. So let me get it going. It actually should go in there. No, I'm almost close. It actually should go in there now. No, see, it's a little long. When I try to come in, it's hitting first. So I'm gonna keep shaving this off it there until it slides all the way back. 3 times, and we should be getting closer when I get right in the middle. Get close. Let me go about 4 times to see what happens here. We're still closer. That was 5 times. We're gaining on it, but slowly. That's, I could force that in there, but I don't want to force it. I'm going to give it another little cut. Let's see if that does the trick. Yep, it just comes right in there just like that. All right, so now we've got 2 pieces that are fit, and there's no snipe on this one. I can cut off this piece and then slip in that piece as well. And what I'm going to do is take these out and I'll cut the chamfer off of that first edge. So I think it's about 15 times. That's a pretty sharp edge. Now, I got to remember that this piece, I'm laying them out the same way this board is facing right here. So I'll lay that one down here and the other one over there. All right, so there it is. You know, rather than using a knife, I'm just going to use my pencil, since this mark doesn't have to be accurate, because I know I'm going wider than what I need. All right, and then I can take a square, easily draw that pencil mark all the way across. All right, so there we go. I'll cut at the miter station. You've already seen this one, so I'm not going to move the camera. That was a lot easier to line up. And now we will begin cutting the miter on this one. That's 12. What's still got a little bit of a facet on there. 13, 14, 15. Doesn't appear to be a facet, but I got a long way to go. That did the trick right there. Now, what I want to test first is whether this goes in still with that piece in there. Yep, that goes in. And this should go in as well with that piece in there. It goes in. So far so good. Let me take this out and this out like that. We'll cut the other piece for this. Now, where did I leave that extra piece that had the snipe on it? Oh, here it is. This one didn't have any snipe on it, and it's almost a perfect length. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's really close. I'm going to leave that mark on there and put a chamfer. "15 strokes did it really well." I may have the blade on that plane put out a little bit more, and the reason why it's cutting faster too, by the way. Although I sharpened it really well this last time, and that has a lot to do with it. So let me cut this piece off. Let's put the square on there first, because I've got it on the fence side and I need it on the opposite side of the fence so that the saw can see it. So I can put my tooth right up against that mark. Okay. Get up there. I really need to be measuring over here. We're closer on that side. I probably should have just given it one swipe. This side goes down like that. This side goes in like that. This side goes in like that. And this side ties it all together when it goes in. Holds the whole thing on there very tight. It won't slide at all. It's just a perfect fit going down in there. So that lets me do the finish work on these pieces right here and glue them. So I'm going to finish the inside face, and then I'm going to glue it all the way around. And I think I'll do that one off camera as well, but I wanted to get that done after I thought about it, the process of finishing. You know, you start thinking about these things, you think what order should, you know, what order should be the steps that you take to get to the final product. And you go through your mind, what's next, and when the finishing went next, and I thought, okay, how am I gonna finish next to that flock? And I thought about, you know, maybe wrapping a oil-soaked towel around a sharp edge like that, and going in here and trying to wipe it on there. And I thought, I don't like that. That's probably not going to work that well. But anyway, are you not talking to me, GoPro? Apparently not. Maybe the battery. Okay. I don't know why you're doing that, GoPro, but you're messing me up. So anyway, that's going to be the inside of the box, of the lid, and it'll have that lip on it like that, and it'll be glued in. And you know, the other benefit that would have come out of this, if I had realized this is what I was going to be doing at the beginning, was worrying about that inside edge of no glue showing up in there. If there was glue squeeze out on the inside, this would have covered it up perfectly. And but that's the way it goes. And folks, thanks for watching. We're getting close, but Christmas is getting closer. I'm still going to work hard as I can. I did a lot more vacuuming. I mopped all the bathrooms. I got other things to do still, so I'm working twice as hard. I'm not getting my exercise in. I went for my walk in my favorite trail back behind my house last evening, right at sunset, and I was so worn out. It took me what normally takes me about 20 minutes to go around that trail. It took me almost 30 minutes to get around it. I was walking so slowly. Every muscle and every bone in my body was aching. And I knew I needed to get that exercise because it had rained for a couple of days and I wasn't able to get out. But now, but I almost regret it. And then I forgot to do it today. I think I would have felt much better today. So tomorrow I'll either go for a bike ride or walk or do something. But anyway, God bless you folks, and be sure to subscribe, like, hit the bell to be notified, comment, and share. All those things help us to get more viewers and so forth. And that's what it's going to take, is for that to build up. You build momentum up on a channel for YouTube, and it goes like that. That's not my motivation, but doggone it, if I'm going to put this much time into it, it sure would be nice to get some affirmation from some other YouTubers out there that like to see these kinds of woodworking videos. So, like I said, God bless you. Take care.